Hey guys, my name is Jasmine and today we're going to be making scribble art. Let's get started with our supplies. So what we need is a drawing pencil, which is a graphite pencil, an eraser, Sharpie, color pencils, and crayons. Okay, so to get started, you can start with either a drawing pencil or a Sharpie. I'm going to get started with the Sharpie. But we're just going to make scribbles on our paper. We want to take up the whole paper. We want to take up this entire space. So just make scribbles. Doesn't have to be anything in particular. Fill up my entire page here. And if you want, if you have extra space on the outsides, you can do like little mini scribbles if you want. Something like that maybe. If you want to fill up your entire space. But again, you're not drawing anything in particular, you're just drawing scribbles. So, and part of that is called abstraction, which abstraction is the drawing or the creation of nothing in particular. It's all about form, color, and shape. It's not like if I were to draw an apple, I'm not going to draw an apple as you might see it with your own eyes in real life. It might be like a circle or something that's rounded like an apple, but not an apple itself. So that's what these scribbles are. Next, we're just going to work on some mark making things. You can use your pencil for this. You can use your Sharpie, your crayons, your color pencils, whatever you want. But for this part, I'm going to use everything I have here. But I'm going to get started with the coloring pencil. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to do some mark making, which mark making is just how you draw things, how you make marks on paper. It could be patterns, it could be how heavy, how light you press down on your pencil, your crayon, your Sharpie. And it could also be which way your lines are going. Or they can be speckles. These all count as mark making. Even coloring something solid, that's still mark making. And my personal goal for this piece, I don't want any of the same colors next to each other. So like how I did pink here, I don't want pink in any of the ones around it. If you want to do that, that's fine. But it will also look pretty cool if you do different colors and different patterns next to each other. Some light marks here. You can also practice drawing straight lines if you want. Don't forget about any scribbles that you did on the edges of your paper. I deal with those. You can also draw shapes inside of these spaces if you want. Like circles, do some squares. And again, when you're doing this, I wouldn't try and draw anything in particular inside of it. Keep it abstracted, keep it all about the shapes and the forms that you're making and your mark making. If you want to put more than one color in a certain area, you can do that. There's no rules on that. Making heavy lines. Making light lines. In with my Sharpie, and can't forget about your scribbles on the outside if you have any of those. And just like if you want to put different colors in one area, you can also do different patterns in one area. So like if you want to do lines in one, as well as like circles or just like marks, you can do that too. Like this one here. I'm going to do lines. And then I'm also just going to make some marks in the middle. Just during some mark making, it's all random. You don't have to always have a set plan. Again, keeping it abstracted, it's all about the shape and the form and the colors. So I'm going to add some colors in here. Take some green. I might color this one in solid. This one, do some lighter color, green. This is largely just about experimenting, see what you can do with your tinsels, with if you don't draw anything exactly how it might look to your eye in real life. You don't even have to draw anything in particular. Like I said, that's abstraction. Maybe with just your Sharpie. Sometimes abstraction is also about pattern, which I've done a few patterns in mine. And like I said, if you just want to work on patterns, you can just work on patterns, that's fine. You don't have to worry about color. Move on to crayons. Haven't used crayons yet. Like I said, for this piece, I want to use, for me, you don't have to, but I want to use everything I have here. Continuing saying what kind of marks I can make. And if you want to challenge yourself, you can make, you can do patterns that don't repeat each other. So, like if you were to draw just straight lines, just up and down, you can change up how close they are, so any of the areas that you fill, they don't look the same, if that makes sense. Or you can try to only do one color in each one if you want to do it that way. You can make like a big rainbow abstract piece. And again, play around with how bold, how dark you can make an area look, how light you can make it look. Play around with how hard you press down on your crayon or your coloring pencil. See what you can do. And do one or two more colors. This one a bold, solid color. I'm going to press down pretty hard on this one. And then for in here, I go in kind of light. You can see how these are the same color, but they look different because this one's lighter than this one. And just like with this one, this area right here, if you want to make more scribbles inside of your areas, you can do that too. And you can take it a step further by coloring each one of those spaces as well. Okay. And this is our abstracted piece. So once again, we made scribble art here. We filled up the entire space. Wanted to make sure we filled up even the edges of it, like how I have 6 tiny scribbles in mine. And we did this using abstraction, which is a creation of art using only like form, color, and shape. We don't have to worry about how something might actually look, like I'm not gonna actually draw a real apple if I'm gonna want to abstract an apple. And we worked on our mark making, which is how we make our marks on our paper, how we do our shapes and our lines. And you can do this with any kind of shape, any kind of scribble you want to do on your paper. And I hope you guys make more. And thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.